Stuck in your head.
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice. Bada boom.
Of course you do that. Wow.
That's hilarious.
I'm also eating homemade corn tortilla chips.
And I've been stealing beans and chips. I'm gonna go do it again right now.
Yeah,
I'm
I made homemade refried beans.
I'm not gonna be able to eat dinner.
I made homemade refried beans too.
Oh, I
And
never texted John. Oops.
we're having Badia tacos too. With Spanish rice.
Maybe a fart machine tomorrow. Look at everybody in Walmart. Here I come, jet propelled and ready for action.
You know what's even funnier? There's a shit ton of cheese in them.
Well, that's gonna make it better. It means they're gonna be farting or not pooping. One of the two. More info than you wanted to know, right? Welcome to the channel.
You add cheese to make it creamy.
That's why it tastes creamy. Okay.
Okay, so talking about Ed Gein, we talked about a lot of horrendous things that were found in his home.
Mm-hmm. That turned the light on.
Yeah, we talked about a bunch of horrible things found in his home, such as the nipple belt,
Still cracks me up.
human face masks that he just admitted he wore. Like he was like, I wore them. Okay, can we go on to the next question? He never admitted to cannibalism or necrophilia.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But there is a lot of talk that he did it.
Okay.
Just like there's a lot of talk that he kidnapped and killed a lot more people than he originally thought.
Are you trying to cover yourself here so there's not indecent exposure? You're a weird dog. You're such a goofy dog. You are so weird. That's okay. Grandma loves you. I'm going to uncover you. Oh, decent exposure. She's like, you could have just left me alone. I was perfectly content. She's not happy with me right now because I took the pillow off.
Yeah, the pillow was laying on top of her, and she thought, "No, what is wrong with your nail?
Get it caught on something?
Oh no, it's getting long." But yeah, so we talked about that. We talked about the two hunters that they believe he chopped up with a chainsaw, which became the idea behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A lot of the things, the obsession with his mother, became a
psycho thing.
In Silence of the Lambs, the idea of skinning someone and wearing their skin suit, because remember, he made a vest that he could don, and he also made a human skin suit, and he admitted to wearing it out and about. At night, he would walk around his property with it on.
And see, that gives me the Psycho vibes too, because in Psycho, if you all have seen it, he wears the wig of his mom, the hair of his mom, and like her clothing, to make it seem like his mom was alive.
Yeah. So
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the psychological tests. So, last thing we talked about was the fact that he was complaining to doctors, and he was a whiny little boy. I'm gonna say boy because he's mentally ill. Who was constantly complaining about everything. He was saying he was weak and he needed a wheelchair to get around everywhere. Even though all physical tests said he was fine, he constantly complained about the smell of the hospital. And he said it smelled like flesh. We were discussing how most likely it's because
it got caught
in his nose. And so he's in the hospital, and because he's so used to the smell, now that he's in an environment with a better smell, it's now seeping into his regular every day.
Yeah, like a clean smell.
Bless you.
Nasty. You get boogers everywhere. No, you're getting wrapped up in the blanket. Now, come on. Hermione. Move over here. Come here. Over here. No, I didn't say get down. Please don't fart. You were getting wrapped up in this blanket. You know, this was my blanket, and your dad took it. I can't have anything. Whether it's children or animals.
Willow did nothing.
Cats being the animals. They steal my blankets and they stole my body pillow. What do you think's at the end of the bed on the tote? That's my body pillow. That's flat and not comfortable no more. Yeah, it is. 'Cause you guys took it and lay on it because it was soft, huh? Mm.
Also, we're going to go into the basic psychological test now that they ran. And it determined he had an IQ of 89. It's a little low on the little low to average scale. And he noted he had a lot of information. He had a lot of information in his head. He had a good vocabulary and the ability to reason and abstractly think, which told doctors he was a lot smarter um, than that of the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Test indicated.
Mm.
So basically, they're like, okay, he's coming up that he's not that smart. But then when they were asking him questions, they were like, but he is really smart.
So like they think he was playing the test.
They didn't know what to think. They thought maybe it was just a bad test, test taking anxiety, something like that. So the Rorschach test, the ink block test, gave the sign that he was not someone of a well personality. He was somebody with an insufficient ego, immature, conflict concerning identification, and the possibility of illogical thought process.
Okay.
An additional test proved what most of us know, and that he possessed bizarre and powerful religious beliefs.
Oh, okay.
He also strongly identified with female figures, and he had an immaturity level of sexuality characterized by strong feelings of guilt.
Okay.
So now one of these is not good. One of these in a single person is not a good sign. But all of these together make a man that was of average intelligence, very suggestible, emotionally dull, and prone to irrational, inappropriate, and aggressive responses.
Okay.
Now this was just from baseline testing. So we haven't even gotten to the nitty gritty. So basically they're like, he's messed up. And they haven't even done the deeper testing. And the nitty gritty test that they did came back with even more shocking results to the psychologists at the time. During the assessment of his social and sexual histories, Ed beliefs in morality, and more specifically the morality of sex, was a frequent topic with him, at one point explaining morality is pretty low in Plainsfield, which is what his mom would say. When talking about his victims, Ed said Mary Hogan was a dirty talker who operated a tavern, and people said she was in a crooked business. Bernice Warden, he said she wooed her husband away from another girl and married him shortly after. That one girl committed suicide by swallowing bleach. It was rumors. It was gossip. It was talk, and he had taken these things as actual word.
He took it verbatim.
Yes. He did not view women in a good light, and his views on his victims was the same. He believed that their deaths were punishment for their sins. He said they were so sinful that they should die, and I took care of it.
Oh, wow.
It seemed Ed couldn't take responsibility for his actions, and he blamed his actions on everyone else. He said that if his neighbor had visited him, he wouldn't have been as lonely and engaged in illegal acts.
I mean, it's not really his neighbor's responsibility to come visit him. He should invite.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed, that kind of falls on you, dude, that you can't blame the neighbor for not visiting you.
Yeah.
If you wanted somebody to come visit you, then you extend the invite. It shouldn't be up to them.
He also was a petty person, and he would focus on small slights and misunderstandings. And he focused on the fact that everyone treated him poorly. Everyone took advantage of him, which is what led him to do what he did.
So blaming others.
Yeah. He claimed not to remember a whole lot on the murders, but in the case of Bernice, he was adamant that the gun had discharged accidentally. In their conclusion, the doctors at Central State Hospital determined that Ed's social and physical isolation, along with the powerful influence of his mom, led him to develop a strong sense of beliefs about himself and those around him that were rooted in religious outstandings of right or wrong.
Yeah.
So, following Augusta's death, he engaged in intense fantasy life in order to cope with the grief, anxiety, and stress, which led him to more elaborate acts to achieve the desired effect, hence the grave robbing. He denied having engaged in necrophilia, and he said he had never attempted or considered eating human flesh.
Bless you.
As his tendency to conveniently forget, Dr. Schubert said it was self preserving amnesia, engaged to help cope with the murdering. As to why he killed his two victims, he said the true reason was uncertain, but there were several factors that he could think of: hostility, sex, and a desire, a substitute for his mom to be kept as a replica or for indefinitely.
Mm.
And Schubert said that Ed constantly referred to the bodies as dolls, and he said they were like dolls, and he was comforted by their presence.
Okay.
Ed's mental state and frequent delusions were the result of a complex combination of social, environmental, and psychological factors that, while useful in understanding him a little bit, it would never adequately, to any satisfaction, explain why he did what he did.
Mm. Okay.
Ed was paranoid and he experienced hallucinations to which he responded with bizarre behaviors and violence that he didn't remember. And there was a lot of doctors that didn't understand what was going on. And based on their findings, they determined he met the legal standard for insanity and was not competent to stand trial at the time.
Even though the
Yeah.
prosecutor said, no, he can.
Yeah.
Like
And
he knows right from wrong.
yeah, in the summary, Dr. Schubert wrote, Mr. Gein has been suffering from schizophrenic process of an undetermined amount of years as a result. Although Mr. Gein may voice that he understands the difference of right and wrong, he doesn't actually know the difference, and his ability to make a
Oh.
judgment with be influenced by the existence of mental illness.
Oh, wow.
So he would not be capable of fully realizing the consequences of acts which resulted from disturbed and abnormal thinking. Because of these findings, I must recommend him commitment to Central State Hospital.
Oh, wow.
In January 1958, a hearing was held to formally determine if Gein was fit to stand trial, and Dr. Schubert explained everything. And he said he was immature and he lived in an expansive fantasy, and his life centered around himself, and he had little faith in people. And he believed that Ed had been experiencing symptoms for 12 years. And
Wow.
because he couldn't give a chronological amount of time in his life and events related to the crimes, he was not able to participate in his own defense, making him incompetent to stand trial. So, to the people of Plainsfield, this was preposterous to them. He was getting away with murder because he was living life normally in their eyes, when in reality,
he wasn't.
he was.
It's a secret.
Yeah, because he had been experiencing symptoms for 12 years, and remember, his mom has only been dead for 7. So they're saying he suffered from schizophrenia when his mom was alive.
So that's
And
when he started the.
And most likely his mom just didn't get him treatment.
Mm.
So he thought it was normal. He just behaved like everybody else, when in reality there was something deeply wrong with him.
Kind of sad.
They were like, we've known him our whole lives. He can stand trial. He's well enough. And that makes sense. But also, people at the time have never heard of schizophrenia, so they knew nothing of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
To them, it was a made up word, and it meant you could get away with murder.
Yeah.
Ed was sent to the hospital where he could stay for 10 years. Now, it appeared he was evading punishment, and he did eventually stand trial in February of 1968, where he was found competent to stand trial. Ed had become a model patient, and he had shown improvement since his arrival at the hospital. He even held a job at the hospital's lapidary, which is a gem working station, and he would engrave, cut, or polish gems.
Oh, nice. Okay.
A spokesman said Ed was content to live day by day, and they never had any trouble with him. Schubert was still maintaining he was mentally ill, even though he was standing trial. He thought he was. Schubert wanted to make it sure that Ed was punished for his crimes.
Right.
But he was worried that Ed would talk himself out of being punished for his crimes.
Mm.
On November 7th of 1968, with press and spectators, Ed had chosen a bench trial, so there was no jury.
Okay.
It was just a judge's decision. The prosecutor spent one day arguing his case, and the defense spent more than a couple of days presenting their case of not reason guilty by reason of insanity. Now, on November 14th, he was found guilty of murder. After, with the determination of his sanity, if he was determined sane enough, he would go to jail or just stay in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So they would again look at his sanity. This was short. It took 2 days, and after testimony from psychologists at Central State Hospital, he was returned where he would stay until he was deemed no longer a threat to society.
So they had him stay at the hospital.
Yes.
Go back. Okay.
He could also petition for release as well, and he did do that in 1974.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there was no way he would ever get released. He remained at the Central State Hospital until it was converted to a correctional facility in 1978. And there he was transferred to Mendota State Hospital, where he spent most days working, watching TV, reading books and magazines, and for the foreseeable future, he was a model patient, never causing problems and never violent. Ed Gein died of respiratory failure on July 26, 1984, at the age of 77.
Before I was about to turn 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
He died at the age of 77.
Wow. Okay.
You were alive when Ed Gein was alive.
Yeah, apparently. I'm gonna be 4 years old within, only 5 days.
He was buried in a cemetery at Plainsfield in an unmarked grave, and I will get as to why it's unmarked.
Okay.
So let's rewind. We're going to do a little backtracking because something happened to the property that's.
So I want to point something out. It's hearing these things and everything that they're saying with his psychological welfare and well-being. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. His mom
fucked him up.
That's the sad part. It's like it makes you feel sad for him growing up. Because, like you said, you feel horrible
Sad
for
for
the
the
child,
child.
not the adult, because there's consequences for your actions. But
The fact
his mom could have dealt with it, could have done something. And again, back in that day, they don't know what schizophrenia is. They have no clue. But if she was noticing things weren't quite right, let's say Justin, for instance, not saying he would do anything, but just using him as that, if that was him, and if I'm the parent saying, okay, something's not right with my kid, there's something, you want to go get him checked out. Okay. And for him, mom is the reason why, when she was alive, he's so screwed up in the beginning. She was only dead for 7 years, and they said it was 12. That this is 12 years of damage.
I do believe that it's 12 years of damage, and she had only been dead for like 5 or 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been longer than that, but it was definitely his schizophrenia began when she was still alive.
So her playing with brainwashing. Now they call it brainwashing.
Because remember, she said she wanted to break him and rebuild him in her
image, in her thought process,
yeah,
like her way. And it's like, well, you did, and you really screwed him up, lady. Because this poor guy has to now can't say now, but had to take medication every day, guaranteed that. Because if he was a model citizen, or a model patient, not
after
citizen,
he started taking meds,
and then it finally, was like, okay, what I was doing, it makes you.
The fact that they determined he could not determine right from wrong when they first arrested him.
Yeah,
that's the baffling part.
Yeah, because that's where you want to take your kid to a doctor saying, hey, oh, my son, he's doing this, and I've told him to stop numerous times, but he continues to do it. And you're the advocate for your child. I'm going to say that. You are the advocate for your child. When kids get put on medications, Justin was put on medications, and he would come to me, he's like, I don't like the way it makes me feel. I was like, okay, go for a med review, because they want to know he had anger issues. What person does not have anger issues, by the way? He has done very well to control them, but also I've also looked at him and said, you have every right to feel the way that you feel. We will never tell you can't feel angry, happy, sad, and all of that. But as you guessed it, that was Justice. He doesn't want to come out here while we're doing this. But for him, he didn't like the way that the ADHD medicine made him feel because I had to take it. Talking about the psychological part, I even had to go do a psychological thing, but with a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And her thing said I was in between. I was in the gray area. I wasn't in the black or the white. And I'm like, okay, what the heck does that mean? Like, do I know the right from wrong? Do I? Because it made you think.
Mm-hmm.
But he told his doctor, he goes, I don't want to be on it no more. Doctor's like, okay, your choice. So for that time frame, they don't get that choice. When they
Yeah.
go in there, they have to take what is prescribed to them. Not like you get today to where you take it, you don't like how it makes you feel, you automatically have to tell your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You, for instance, taking medication for what
Yeah.
your diagnosis. It doesn't, well, guess what? You can call your doctor. In a mental hospital,
You
you don't get
can't.
that choice. It's you have to take what's there.
And I will also say, I think Monsters, the Ed Gein story on Netflix. It's a good show. They do take a lot of creative liberties. They do take the kidnappings as actual Ed Gein killed them.
Mm.
They do take some creative liberties with some of the things, but I do like when they're showing the mental health side. You see these moments where he's like he thinks he kills somebody, and then he thinks he kills a nurse, and then the next moment the nurse walks into the room the next morning and he realizes it was all a hallucination.
Oh wow.
There's a moment where he gets some money and he buys a ham radio set and he gives it to all these people and he's talking to the people on the ham radio set, and one of them is the Nazi lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
The radio's not connected, so he's talking to himself.
Oh wow. So that's a
And the
part of
doctor's like,
yeah.
you're talking to yourself. And it's kind of a realization of, oh, I am sick.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's hard for people to admit that.
yeah, and I think it does a great job with that. It also does a great job of like, I think because there's in the show they do show him dressing up in like women's clothing. And I do appreciate the fact that when he's dressed up in women's clothing at the end, he wants to talk to, at the time, I think when Ed Gein was alive, there was a famous woman who was transitioning in Denmark, transitioned from male to female and had done the gender reassignment surgery. It was one of the major first ones ever done.
Yeah.
And he thought he was like her. And
Mm.
he's like, oh, I want to be a woman because I hate myself. It's kind of like with the Silence of the Lambs. He's like, I hate myself so much, I have to be a woman. And he's talking to himself on the ham radio set. And it turns out that he had this conversation with the doctor and he's just replaying what the doctor said to him. And the doctor's like, no, you're not. I forgot what it was called, but essentially it's you hate women so much.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do one last act of violation and be in their skin.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of separating that differentiation of being trans from being this.
Mm-hmm.
That the violence is not because you're trans. The violence is because you hate
You
women
just hate
so
women
much.
because of what you were taught.
Exactly.
And what was
You
told to you.
hate women so much. It's not because you're trans. You're not trans. You're not like me. You just hate women so much that you want to do one final act
Mm-hmm.
of violence against women. So
Yeah.
I liked the show and how they differentiated it. I will say the show also takes liberty of Ed Gein. They in the show is most serial killers, they hear about Ed Gein and they're like, oh, finally. Ed Gein, I don't know if I said this, is technically not a serial killer. Technically not. Because a serial killer is somebody who's killed 3 or more times in the similar fashion. Ed Gein only killed twice. But he is kind of that psyche that he has is very similar to that of what other serial killers have.
Yeah.
He's also I wouldn't say the most oldest one we have because we have Jack the Ripper, but again, he's unknown.
Mm-hmm.
H.H. Holmes, but he's not. He was in the 1800s, so it's not close enough
and
to
he's
us
the
now.
very first serial killer. And I'm pointing this out because I got to watch a little bit of it yesterday. because there was a thing I watch about, and it's called Mystery at the Castles. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
brand new show.
Yes.
I'm loving it, and they were talking about and I came in on it. It said H.H. Holmes. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do one on him
Yes.
soon, or this year later, and I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued.
Uh-huh.
And when I heard about what they were saying is he puts on this, he's very charming.
Charismatic.
Women could not
Say no to him.
say no to him. And he built this hotel at
in Chicago.
a fair.
World Fair in Chicago.
Yeah, a world fair in Chicago. Here's the downside. Girls say no. If any man says, hey, come check out this new hotel I did, say no.
It wasn't
Back in the day, in the
Yeah.
1800s, it's not like the hotels now. This man would take the women up there. Oh, come check it out. It's real nice. It's something new. You might like it. Maybe you'll stay there. Oh, guess what? You had no choice to you stay there or not. He would open the door, shove the women in, and lock the door from the outside. They had no food, no water, and they didn't go into
Oh,
whole
yeah.
detail about what he did.
Oh, there's even weirder things. There'd be hotel rooms that he would hide behind the bed a little spout that he would put sleeping gas in, and then they
see.
would go to sleep inside the hotel completely safe, and then they would wake up inside the walls. He had chambers inside of
Yeah.
his walls.
So
He had rooms that led to torture rooms. You opened one door and it led to, I think, because a fire burned down his castle, so they're not able to like fully inventory his
they
castle.
said something
There
happened
was
to
a
where it caught on
room.
fire.
There was a room that was all metal,
Oh,
and he would shove people in the room and just leave them essentially to starve to death. When they found the room in the fiery remains, because it's metal, right? It
yeah.
takes a lot. It takes a lot
Metal.
to melt. They found from where somebody had been trapped inside this metal box a footprint of somebody trying to kick the door open.
Wow.
That's how hard and how long they had been trying to kick it open. Was it literally left a footprint?
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, they didn't go into full detail.
Yeah.
They just talked about this guy.
H.H.
He
Holmes.
did get, so, I know we're going to do one on him later because I'm intrigued just by listening to this. And yes, I love watching the mysteries of
H.H. Holmes also, along with Ed Gein, influenced a lot of serial killers. I don't recall which serial killer it was. I think it was Kemper.
Yeah.
Where Kemper wanted to build a murder castle just like H.H. Holmes's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very that I will say me watching these little mysteries at the castles, that was intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did he do? I even set up. I was like, what in the world is wrong with you?
He is also he's a con man.
Oh, he did that too.
Highest
He
regard.
did that too. His buddy, I don't remember his buddy's name. I know we'll find out. Wanted to fake his friend's death, but then to get insurance money.
They would find bodies.
And then come out to find that he killed his friend to get that insurance money, but then he got caught and then was put in jail and then was later hanged.
Yeah. Fun fact, do you know what his final act was? I'll give you this little tidbit. Do you know what his final act was for once he was buried?
What was that?
He asked to be buried in cement so nobody would violate his body like he did other people.
Okay, no. For that, I'm just going to put you in a regular box.
No, violate as in, because he would also do this thing where he would put them in acid so he could the reason they don't know how many victims he had.
Yeah, they said they don't know the count. It was like they guesstimate 200.
There's the guesstimate of 200. He only admitted to like I think 10 or 15. But how he would get rid of the bodies, because he's in the middle of Chicago, it's kind of hard to get rid of bodies. Back in the day, how we did this and why we fucking did this, I don't know. Universities would pay 20 pounds for a skeleton.
Yep.
So he would dip his victims in acid
to
and
pull away
sell
the
them
skin.
to the universities.
And he offered this one skeleton. Because I heard that part and I'm like, he did what? What did he? And, I'm going to forget all of this, mind you. Okay, I will forget all this because it's going to be later down the road that we do this, and I'm totally forget this. But I sit there and I watch this. I'm like, what? That's a fresh person like somebody that had died in his hotel. It's like, oh, okay. And the guy that he was offering it to was a university, and they were only going to give him, I think, 20 pounds for it. He looked at him and he goes, 200. He told the guy, I will give you the skeleton for 200. And he goes, that's out of the asking range. You know,
that's not the normal range.
We can't do that. You know, my school only allows me so much. He goes, okay. He goes, I have another university that wants this. And that's how he did it. He had that wit and that charm about him to get people to say yes.
We're gonna
literally that dude that said no to the 200. It's like, all right, we'll make a deal, and made a deal and paid $200 for this man or woman that was in that hotel that died, and he gave him the skeleton.
I will say, he was not that charming when he was young. There are countless stories of him being stupid idiot when he's young. He also had a nickname, and I can't remember. It was actually last February. I was listening to podcasts about potential like serial killers were doing, and I was listening to H.H. Holmes podcast. And one of them, there was a nickname for H.H. Holmes, and I cannot remember what it was. He had a nickname in medical school that made me laugh. We were in the middle of nowhere, right? And I'm just start going, no. And Justin's like, what are you? Because I have my podcast in my ears because he doesn't like to listen to that. And I was like, I told him what his nickname was. And Justin's like, that's messed up. It was a bad nickname.
So maybe that's a one we'll have to do like in September, October, spooky season.
Yeah, it is, and it will be a long one. It'll be like this one, Ed Gein. It'll be like Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. What we got 4?
Yeah, we 4 or 5.
Really, that one I'm intrigued because I have books that one is.
All of them are typed up.
Jack the Ripper.
And
we
have a whole entire day.
We do have a day off just to talk about Jack. But we are going to take a couple of hour break in between.
Yeah, we're gonna do like part 1 and part 2, and then maybe part 3, and then go to the.
We're gonna go to like the little antique market that we have here in town.
And then we'll do part 4 and 5 when we come back, because part 4 and 5 is where it gets really bloody.
Yeah. So yeah.
But so back to 1958, right? Gein's farmhouse became community property of the county, and they were contacted to auction the property and the land. But prior to their selling, they decided to make it a museum.
Okay.
Where if you paid 50 cents, anyone that wanted a tour of the property and building before it was sold off could get one. So they could tour the Gein house.
I wouldn't want to.
50 cents to tour the Gein house. And back in the day, 50 cents was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the house was cleaned up as much as it could be. And the Plainfield people of Plainfield objected to the admission fee. And so it was only open for a couple of weeks. And it was actually Plainfield people objected to the admission fee. And a judge shot down the idea of making it a permanent museum for the morbid.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And a few weeks later, the property and the remaining contents of the home attracted a crowd of 20,000 people for the auction, because they were going to start auctioning things off inside the Ed Gein home, and people could buy the property.
I wouldn't want anything. No.
Now, they had attracted a crowd of 20,000 people. But before this auction could even be held, on March 23rd, 1958, there was a fire, an arson. Somebody burnt it down that no one was charged with. And it destroyed much of the main house, and all that remained was the 5 old sheds and the foundation of the main home. And in the end, that property sold for less than $4,000, which went to paying the costs of the investigation.
Oh, wow.
In the decades that followed, hunters exploring the property around the Gein farm occasionally would find human bones scattered around the property.
Well, of course.
And they still do.
Yeah.
So now, as to why his grave is unmarked. Remember how I said it was unmarked?
Yeah.
It was originally marked.
Okay.
But people would go and vandalize it.
Of course
They would write things on it like Satan lives, the things that people did in like the 70s and 80s, satanic panic. God, I hate.
I was only 4.
Yeah. But there was, if you
Oh,
recall,
God.
like Dungeons and Dragons was part of the satanic panic. Rock music was a part of the satanic
That would
panic.
be part of John's life, unfortunately. Because
Yeah,
he got told he was going to burn in hell for listening to that stuff and
Yeah.
playing Dungeons and Dragons.
exactly. It was a part of the satanic panic, right?
Yeah.
So people wrote wild things on his thing, on his gravestone. And like there's actually some of these there were chunks of the headstone also taken off.
Mm.
So people would like chip away at the headstone and take a piece of it. And it said that they would sell it with certificates of authenticity saying taken from Ed Gein's gravesite and all that other stuff.
Hopefully they took a picture showing that they did that.
Yeah, and allegedly a scoop of soil from his grave sold for $28 in like the 70s and 80s.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You want some Ed Gein dirt? Here you go.
I'm just thinking for like witchcraft, because like it said that if you have witchcraft and you use grave dirt, depending on the soul of the person,
Oh.
it changes how your spell is. So if you go to the grave and you grab somebody of a good kind heart, your spell, if you add it to like a spell for like goodness and kind, like money or something like that, you'll get it with like out ramifications. But let's say you want to curse somebody, you use the worst of the worst.
Go to Ed Gein. Just go to his grave.
But in June
Jeez.
in June 2000, it was completely stolen.
Oh, wow.
That whole headstone was removed from the ground.
Oh, wow.
And rumor has it that it is in Washington State or Oregon State.
Wow.
This happened in Wisconsin.
So why would they take it to Washington or Oregon?
The person who stole it probably was traveling to Wisconsin, went to Ed Green's gravesite, stole the headstone.
Oh, wow.
Now,
and there's
now
no
that
cameras in
person, that person now has it like in their attic. Can you imagine a couple years
Bad
from now?
juju from that thing.
Can you imagine like in 20, 30 years from now? Like I'll be reading the news and all of a sudden Ed Gein's headstone found in the attic of a home. Turns out his grandparents stole it in 2000.
Like that for their only grandson. That's funny.
So the Plainsfield people, tired of all the problems that headstone was causing, just decided to leave it unmarked because he was also buried next to Augusta.
His mom.
Yeah. They've just left it unmarked. So now he has an unmarked grave next to his mom.
Oh,
wow. So Ed has influenced modern media in so many ways. Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock, which was the beginning of the revolution of horror as we know it. And like the movie was so horrendous to people at the time. Because when did Psycho come out?
1960.
It did come out in 1960?
Yep, 1960.
So
I looked it up while we were watching it to see when it came out.
In 1960, when that movie was released, it caused people to go into early labor. People left the theaters throwing up, and this was the halfway point,
right to the good stuff.
And we're going to talk about that halfway point. And it's a rumor also that they threw up in the theaters. People left in the middle of the theater, in the middle of the movie, because they were so upset about what was happening. Silence of the Lambs was partially based off of him. The skin suit, the clippings, all of that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because there were rumors he chopped up victims with a chainsaw. And House of 1,000 Corpses, which is about somebody who kills a shit ton of people and has their corpses.
Nope, I've seen House of Wax. Sorry.
So he's
think if I've seen
influenced
that or not.
a lot. And in because Ryan Murphy did the Monsters, the Ed Gein story. He also takes creative liberty with who was the serial killer who killed the nurses.
Willow's making her little debut. She's getting love right now. You should see her face. She's so cute. Oh, and Mulan only made it to. She placed 16th. And America's Favorite Pet.
Richard Speck, which I do believe also in American Horror Story, the nurses in the house. were killed by Richard Speck.
Okay.
I think that's
talking about American Horror Story. There's a new one coming out with Peter.
with all the original cast. I saw.
Yes, and I'm
I
like,
saw.
when does it come out?
But they took creative liberty to say that Richard Speck was in communication with Ed Gein, and that serial killers talk to each other and write to each other. Again, I recommend watching Monsters. If you really were a fan of Mindhunter, in Monsters, Ed Gein story, great little clip at the end where you see the beginning of Mindhunters, because they have not the original actors, but two knockoff actors go to all these different people and question them, kind of like they did in Mindhunters. It's actually really cool. Did not get the casting as right as they did with Mindhunter, and I think that's because it's its own show. But really good show. I think the next Monsters, because they did Monsters the Menendez brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did. So there's it's a series. It's not a canonical uh like it's like American Horror Stories, where it's each
It's its own story.
yes.
With American Horror Story, you can watch it however you want to watch it. If there's ones that you don't want to see, like there's the brand new one that's coming up, I cannot wait because what is the guy's name? I said Peters.
Peter Evans.
Peter Evans. So that guy that played in a lot of the other American Horror Story shows, he had to actually step away because it was bringing dark into his like I don't know, like mentally for him, it was not good.
So the Monster series on Netflix, which is Monster season 1, is the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
He did that one. I think Peters did that one, didn't he? Peter Evans did that one. What didn't he do? Jeffrey Dahmer? Because I thought he was in it to where he played Jeffrey Dahmer.
I'm trying to find Jeffrey Dahmer story. Yes, he's
he
the one
did.
who played
I
Dahmer.
Knew it.
So the TV series Monsters
Yes.
Jeffrey Dahmer story, the second season is the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, because in the Dahmer one, that's where he had to step away.
Yes.
They said that one was, for him, it was so mentally dark
And draining.
that he had to literally take an extended period of time off to bring himself back from the dark to the light.
There's a reason I don't want to do Dahmer.
I don't blame you.
Dahmer is the one. I get pissed off with Dahmer case because it could have been stopped earlier on with police intervention, but racism, homophobia, that all had an effect on it when it shouldn't have. Monster season 3 was the Ed Gein story.
Okay.
And Monster season 4, which is in production, is the Lizzie Borden story.
Oh, I like the Lizzie Borden story. I had to do that. It was the Velisca axe murder. Oh, no. That's a different one. But we did talk about that in one of my classes at Pima. And we had to pick something to speak of. And it was like a conspiracy theory. And she was one that was brought up in the class that, her killing her father gave him 40 whacks. Whatever the little poem is that they have for her. And did she actually really do it?
Yeah.
And now you have ghost hunters and the people that do paranormal that go to the home because it is a museum. It is up and going. It's a museum.
And you can also stay there.
I don't feel like staying there. I'm probably gonna get
Come
headaches.
on, don't you want to stay there?
I don't want to feel like I have a gash in my face and a major migraine.
Come on.
But people do get those.
Live a little.
People do get those when they go there and stay. You know which one I want to stay at, and this is gonna sound horrible. Stanley Hotel. That one.
You know what that is? You know what I'm going to say that is?
The Shining one is what...
You know what I'm going to say that is?
Because that one...
That is some white people shit.
You make a shirt that says that.
How? Why would you want to say it?
I have no idea.
Just to get your mama.
You're like, it's your mother-in-law. But no, that one I would like to go visit. Yes, the Lizzie Borden I would like to go visit. But something about the Stanley Hotel is intriguing. Except for when you watch the movie The Shining, and then it's creepy. The little two girls in the end of the hallway. No.
Have you not
I've seen the movie.
heard of the stories that come inside that place
I just had to
from
watch.
regular people?
I had to watch. Stephen King went there. He almost lost it.
Stephen King went
He
there.
went there to
Another
write his
celebrity
movie.
went in there, and he only lasted 2 hours in a room.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard the stories. Even Zach
Yeah,
Bagans.
you still want to fucking stay there? What the?
I said I want to stay there. I said I want to go there. I never said stay. Zach Bagans and them. Zach Bagans and them went there. They did a show.
They get paid for that.
Yeah, I know they do. But
Me and you don't get paid for that.
We should come on YouTube.
If we earn enough money to go to the Stanley Hotel, well, we'll go to the Stanley
We'll
Hotel.
go to Stanley. We'll stay somewhere else, and we'll go there and we'll just like.
If we earn enough.
We'll just. Yeah, if we earn enough to stay there. We'll stay somewhere else, and we'll go there and visit, and we'll do like a little history on it or whatever. Maybe a little ghost hunting.
Got me over here ghost hunting.
But there are some places that I wouldn't mind going. Like Lizzie Borden, yes. We had to do a thing on that. We had to do a thing on the Villisca Axe murder that was supposed to be that was a conspiracy theory. There's like a lot of cases
that are conspiracy theories.
As
we have talked about, sometimes the police be doing
not great things. Not great. Just put the donut and coffee down. You know, I can't wait for our setup. I'm going to have so much fun if we pre-record things where if I sit there and say, put the coffee and donut down and then have like a police officer eating the coffee and donut pop up.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
But so we've talked about it again. It is time to get into the nitty gritty, the movie reviews.
God.
So let's start with the first movie we watched because I know she got her opinions on Psycho. We're going to talk about Silence of the Lambs first. Yeah. We're going to talk about Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is a favorite for me. I have watched Silence of the Lambs since I think I was like 10 years old. I watched it as a child. She disagrees with me being able to watch Silence of the Lambs as a whole as a child.
I wouldn't even let my kids watch it. I'll tell you that much. Now I don't care. That's their choice. But when they were kids, they'd be, no, go to your room. You ain't watching this, or I wait till they go to sleep.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite movies.
I rate that movie a 5. I will tell you why I rated a 5. It is not my cup of tea. I do like my slashers, but that is slashers.
Mm-hmm.
This is based off of
This is psychological horror.
There you go. I don't do psychological horror.
I love psychological horror.
Give me Michael Myers. Give me Jason Voorhees, Chucky, Puppet Master, Pinhead. I'm down with all that.
Give me the mind fucks.
Right? So we watched it, and I will get. It was a good movie. Mm-hmm. It was Anthony Hopkins, dude. Bow down to you, sir. You did an amazing job at playing Hannibal Lecter.
Do you know people find it? I went on a rabbit hole when I was a teenager about like Silence of the Lambs, and I was looking up like fan theories and everything like that. Do you know there were girls and women who found it romantic when he got Miggs to kill himself?
That's not romantic. That's fucked up. But whenever I sit there, I'm like, wait a minute. I go, isn't there a scene in here where the dude's whacking off and throws it at her? And then right when I say that, it happens. And I was like, oh, yep, there it is.
No, yeah, there are girls and women who found it romantic because he doesn't stand for the disrespect of Clarice.
And he does it.
He does it, which I will say.
That is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
I don't find it romantic. I find it, and the reason why he's very respectful to her, and I pointed this out to her, is
she's respectful of him?
The whole time she was speaking with him, doctor. Never Hannibal, never Dr. Lecter, doctor. She never used the other words with that name. She called him a doctor. Stop eating that. Or you're going to need a doctor. And so the amount of respect that she showed that man, Willow, no. Stop it. You're going to... People are seeing my fish right now. Do this. Stop it. Stop it. I'm going to whack you with the coaster. I will not whack her with the coaster, by the way. Stop it.
As she
Sit
says, I
back.
will not whack her with the coaster. Willow goes,
Her, she's
"Ah."
gonna eat the plant. She's our plastic plant eater. She can't stop eating stuff. Yes, I'm talking to you.
She's like, "Are you calling me fat?"
Stop eating plastic. No, rolls
She
her eyes
called
at
me
me.
fat.
Rolling her eyes at me too. So the amount of respect that she showed him, he gave it back to her. He showed it back in tenfold. You know, if you can give me their, I know you were saying that some people can't just look at somebody's profile or their file, period, and be able to diagnose them.
Yeah.
But he could.
Yeah, because he
He
was
could-
just that good. He was just.
He was a psychiatrist before he went to prison for a very long time. And
Until he escaped.
yes, that was funny.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that was funny. And I'm like,
My favorite thing was she was sitting there and she was like, "This is gonna happen, right?" And I was like,
she's all not telling me anything. And then all of a sudden something happens, and I'm like, "Don't go in there. That's stupid. You're gonna go in there now. Look, you're dead. He's gonna kill you."
I think it was when they opened the prison cell and he like drops the keys and he's like looking at the keys and you're like, "Why the fuck are you closing the door?"
Yeah, I'm like, because he stole the pen. That's what cracked me up. Okay, the person that creeped me out in the whole movie, besides
The
Buffalo Bill,
doctor.
was his psychiatrist.
The one who was his nemesis.
Yes, he's all sitting there like hitting on Clarice and like just like I don't know how you would. He had ickiness.
It was icky.
He was icky.
He's always given me the ick.
I don't like him, and I even told her, "Is like I don't like him. I don't like him at all. He gives me the ick. He needs to be in there. Why? Let Lecter out. Put his ass in there." And so I was like, I don't like this guy. I don't like him at all. He just gave me that ick right off the bat when he
My
was talking to her.
favorite thing was he's like, "It's his favorite form of punishment," and it was playing gospel things. And
Oh, on the TV. Yeah.
he's like, "It's his favorite form of punishment." I was like, "You couldn't like get more creative with the punishment?"
Like put on like a rerun of cartoons he don't like or something. Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he had a very nice setup though,
Mhm.
but they took away his paintings and his drawings. They did all this stuff, but every time she went back to him, it was out of respect. And they said,
Mhm.
"Don't get close to the glass. These are the rules. You need to follow these." And she was close to the glass. It's
Mhm.
like, yes, there were the holes, like breathing holes, or air can circulate into the room or whatnot. But not once did he ever try to pursue her.
And then when he gave her
Or,
the towel,
yeah, and when he gave her the towel, I'm all like, okay, well, that was nice of him. And then in the back of my brain, I'm like, why'd you take the towel? I wouldn't have taken the towel. Because those people that have that mentality of learning about people, now he has her scent.
mhm,
It's on the towel. And I'm like, well, that was nice. She's all out in the rain. And then
he gave her a
he gave her a towel. And
towel.
then in the back of my head, I'm like, no, shouldn't have taken that. No, why did you take that? And it like clicked on me. And I'm like, don't touch the towel. Don't take the towel. But
Also, I will say when Hannibal Lecter did the thing with Miggs, it felt very much Kemper to another serial killer. Because remember, I told you Kemper was next to another serial killer, and the serial killer was disorderly. And was it Kemper? I think it was Kemper, where Kemper would spray him with a water bottle when he misbehaved, but then gave him peanuts when he behaved, and he
Oh, wow.
essentially trained him.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, no, Miggs didn't get trained. He got
Miggs
killed.
got killed. Swallowed his own tongue.
Yeah. Miggs kind of deserved that though. Sorry,
Yeah.
Miggs. Not really, but just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very disrespectful to Clarice, and like you said, you see that in the movie where he does not take disrespect lightly.
Mm-mm.
You are to be even the other inmates were like, "Damn it, Miggs! What the fuck?" They were just like screaming. I was like, "Well, Miggs is in trouble."
Yeah.
And then she gets the phone call
That Miggs,
that
that Lecter had been talking to him all night, and the Miggs was crying.
yeah. It was like, dang, what is kind of curious of what the heck he
What
said.
the hell? Just like a
What-
little bloop.
I would like that fly on that wall, on the outside of the wall.
But I will say the making of Buffalo Bill, the acting for the actor who played Buffalo Bill did a really good job.
Yeah.
Um,
And again,
she loved the part where they're like going to break in the door, and there's the doorbell's ringing, and he goes to open the door, and as soon as he opens the door, she goes, "They're not at the right house, are they?"
No, I even pictured it because they're at this house. I'm like, are they at the right house? And I look at her and ask that, and she goes, I'm not telling you. And then they go back to him because the doorbell's ringing. Well, it's matching up with where the cops are. I'm like, you stupid idiot, you ain't at the right house.
And it's right when he
And right
opens
when
the
he opened
door.
it, and there she is. And I'm like, you stupid ass idiots. You're not at the right fucking house. And I'm like, we're dying. She's over here dying because I've never seen the movie. And I'm like, you all are stupid.
Well,
You are dumb.
we were watching as like the Clarice is running around with the gun, and she's like trying to like calm the girl down in the pit, and she's like, "I will get you out when I can, but
Get
give
me out of here, you bitch!"
And she's like, "Get me out of here, you fucking bitch!" We're laughing. We're like, "Give her a minute,
It's like
damn."
she's trying to save your ass. Don't shut up.
Meanwhile, the dog is barking.
Oh, right. And then what was the one part? Because he starts doing his thing,
Where he's
and
putting
then
on the
right when I
makeup.
hear the music, I'm like, oh, here it goes.
The wig. As soon as the wig was on, I was like, "You see what the wig is, right?"
Yeah, I did. I seen what the wig was, and then all of a sudden he says the little phrase, and I'm like, ah, there it is. Only thing I can picture in my head is Jay and Silent Bob, because they will do like a little rendition of it,
Yeah.
but not without all the other crap.
Yeah, and then like
And then all of a sudden he starts dancing, and then he tucks it and backs up, and I'm like, okay, that's new.
And I went, "Do you know there are drag queens that do that and then they tape it?"
Yep.
And I was like,
I hope they shave before they tape it, because
"That's an
wow,
instant wax."
wow. And I'm like, all right,
Okay.
okay. And again, this movie did not disturb me like in a negative way at all.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a clear look at. Now I know a little bit more about Hannibal Lecter,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know much about him and his story and what made him go that way. So hopefully he's on the list, because now I'm intrigued about Hannibal Lecter, about
Well,
what his
I know
story
they
was.
have a bunch of movie series on him. I think afterwards he does get to Agent Starling, and he talks with Agent Starling, and there's more of a back and forth with Agent Starling.
Yeah.
I know there was the TV series of Hannibal
Mm-hmm.
where, oh gosh, what's his name? I'm trying to think of what his name is.
Yeah, I was like, you have a phone right there. But I will say that's a good movie. Like I said, I give it a 5 because it's not my it's not my cup of tea of a psychological slasher, type movie. But again, Anthony Hopkins,
Mads Mikkelsen. He plays Hannibal Lecter at a younger age.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know.
And Hugh Darcy plays Will Graham,
Okay.
an FBI agent, and it's kind of like this is when Hannibal Lecter is still a psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
and he's helping this FBI agent
Yeah.
try to catch these other serial killers, but he doesn't know he's a serial killer. He's got killing on the side.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been arrested yet, and they're like trying to catch the serial killer, Hannibal Lecter, but they're also trying to catch
He's playing it so well.
Yeah, and then like Will is like slowly cracking it and losing it, and Hannibal is like aiding in the cracking, and he's like, "You're just like me, Will." I remember seeing all these clips on Tumblr. I need to watch the actual show.
There was other things that he did though for Clarice.
Yeah.
He said he would help her find Buffalo Bill, but he didn't help her find. He had her do it.
Yeah, he gave her the tools.
Yes, he gave her the acronyms.
Mm-hmm.
He gave her all of this stuff, and at the very end of it, she figured it out herself. Yes, he helped, but he gave her like breadcrumbs. You know how you put breadcrumbs out.
He basically helped her become a better agent for the future.
Yes, and she did a great job.
Didn't he tell her that he was going to give her what she's always wanted,
Mm-hmm.
which is promotion?
Yeah,
which is
yep.
Getting higher.
Because she was still a student at this time
Mm-hmm.
when all this was going on, and they pulled her in to be on the case.
I will say my favorite scene is always going to be when she gets a phone call and she hears his voice, and he's like, "I'm gonna go have a friend for dinner."
Yeah.
And then you see the head of the psychiatric
I'm
hospital,
like,
and you're like,
yes. You're like, he's out.
Finally, somebody does something
Figuratively
about him.
speaking, he's gonna have dinner with a friend. But
He's wording a friend for dinner,
Yep.
and it's like you could take that so many ways, and I know which way he's saying it.
Yep. A dark way. You better put some steak sauce on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a I would say it was a really good movie. Again, just not my cup of tea. I think it's a one and done type thing for me to
Yeah.
watch it.
And then she's seen some of Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
that one
so you can.
that one kind of popped up a lot with Ed Gein in my head of not so much in Silence of the Lambs,
Mhm.
but more in Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the skin and the wearing it, and you feel bad for the dude that was
Mhm.
doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. His family treated him horribly, and
I
they
did
and
see the
they
Ed Gein connection.
and
there.
they treated him horribly. They brainwashed him to kill people. You know, he didn't know right from wrong because he, like Augusta, she did the same thing to Ed. He didn't know right from
Mhm.
wrong, and technically he didn't know right from wrong. You know, and you can't say that about every serial killer though, because yes, you do
Most
know
every serial killer now knows right from
from
wrong.
wrong. Yeah, and but in this case, literally all three of those movies, you do see a Gein connection. Are you gonna spaz out now? Did you poop? You gonna bounce off the walls? Okay, that's what she does. That's why you hear her. She'll growl and bounce off the wall. She literally bounces off the wall. Nobody wants to see you lick your butthole.
Indecency.
Indecent exposure. Hey, yeah, thank you. Okay, you lick your leg. But again, stop it. Don't be so nasty. Put your leg down. Be a lady. Thank you. She's like, wait until that camera's off. Thank you.
I'm gonna go ham.
It's okay. We love you. That'd be nice on the YouTube here, not the Facebook. But yes, that was a good movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have seen some of it, not all of it, but
Mhm.
that's not my cup of tea either. But it does. All three of the movies do Ed Gein style.
And now we're gonna talk about your favorite one. Your favorite one of
So
all time.
it was so stupid.
Psycho.
It got a 2. It got a 2. I'll tell you why it got a 2. We're sitting here watching it. It starts off good.
Starts out really good. She
starts
didn't
out
know
really
where it
good.
was going. She actually when the money ended up in her thing. I have seen it before, so I was like,
Yeah,
bad
because
choice. And then all of a
so
sudden she's
pretty
like,
much it takes off out the gate.
uh-huh.
It just takes off. There is no backstory, no nothing to this woman and this dude she was seeing. It just literally went out the gate. I'm like, okay, and I have seen movies that have done that, and I have been disappointed with movies that do that. I like a little bit of a backstory before we get into a movie.
Yeah.
But this just is like she's sleeping with the dude, boom, there it goes. And then I sit there and I'm watching it. She goes, well, I might go to the bank. I'm not feeling good. I have a headache and all this other stuff. Well, you should take time off and take care of yourself. And maybe you should get away for the weekend and go to Vegas.
And then the sleazy guy flirting with her.
Yeah. And then she's got $40,000. And I sit there and I look at Abby. I'm like, she ain't going to the bank. She fucking going to the bank. And then come to find out she's at her house, at her apartment, whatever, getting dressed, changing clothes. Because she said she was going to sleep it off. And then they go to the white envelope. I'm like, oh, bitch did not go to the bank. I was like, okay, maybe she'll go to the bank now. She's going to go to the bank now. Nope. She just kept on driving. I was like, oh, well, crap. And then she sees the sleazy dude and her boss. And her boss is like, looks at her and looks at her again like, wait a minute. I thought you were going to be at home sleeping. Again, Alfred Hitchcock. It's not supposed to make sense at first because that's how how he did stuff. And then she just keeps driving. And then she gets pulled over by, well, she fell asleep on the side of the road so she didn't get to an accident. Smart, by the way. And then the police comes up behind her. She goes to leave, but then he follows her. And I'm like, why is he following her? She's not doing anything wrong on the road, not saying that what she didn't do was wrong. And he follows her to a car dealership. She pays cash. She gets the papers, gives her car to the guy, and then she leaves. And then she gets to the Bates Motel, which is out in the middle of
Nowhere.
boondocks, BFE, and then the creepy house on the hill there, and then she gets a room. But then here comes Norman.
Mhm.
Norman comes in, and she's all honking because it's raining out. He comes down. He's like, "Sorry about that. I couldn't hear what you were saying," because he's up there yelling at his mom. And
I will
I
say
did,
they did a really good job of throwing off the mom factor with
yes,
that. They did a really good job of throwing it off.
yes, he
Where
did.
they're like, he was talking to his mom, and then when they're with the sheriff, and the sheriff's like, his mom died like 10 years ago.
Yeah, are
And they're
you
like,
sure it was his
what?
mom? Yeah. It's like, are you sure it was his mom? Yeah, there was a silhouette in the window. And no joke, there is a silhouette because I thought for the longest time it was his mom. But I knew better because I've
Mhm.
heard about him playing his mom and being her. But what gets me,
She was literally screaming at the TV because of this.
it was like, if you're going to stab someone, stab them. You don't do an overview. Here's the camera. Here's the shower, and they're not stabbing this way. They're going, nope. And I'm like, that was a miss. If you're gonna freaking stab someone, then stab them. That's how it works in the movie Alfred Hitchcock. What? Come on, dude.
And to think, and I told her after, I was like, to think that was the scene that made people so sick because they left halfway during
There
the
was
movie.
nothing. There was no blood, no nothing, because he was not striking.
He was not stabbing.
He was not stabbing. He was. There was so the crap went this way, not this way. But I will say the creepy factor for that movie
Mm-hmm.
was, and it was creepy. The fact that this poor woman trying to take a shower, who's not being stabbed, by the way, is she doesn't get stabbed at all, and then you just see her fighting him off. It's like, oh my god, I would have lost my shit. I would have been like, what is wrong with you all? She's not being stabbed. But the whole fact she's like doing all this crap, and I'm like, really? Wow. That was the worst death scene I have ever seen in my entire life. And then she just sits down and she's just like this. And then she falls over the tub. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, there she goes. I'm like, oh, there goes the curtain. Like, I already knew that stuff was going to happen because
Yeah.
I've seen the piece for it. But the creepy part is when she's over the tub and the fear on her face.
That's perpetually
That,
etched on it.
yes, that was the creep factor for me for the movie. Not the fact that the dude's psychotic and just psycho.
I will say the creepiest thing for me wasn't so much the look of fear on her face, was at the end when Norma has completely overtaken Norman. And Norma is in there, and you hear her talking, and she's like, Norman was going to blame me for all of the murders.
But
So
I'll show them.
I won't even hurt a fly. And there's a fly crawling on the hand.
I'm not even gonna swat it.
Let them see that I couldn't even hurt a fly. And I was like, my guy, you're not going to prison. You're going to a mental institution.
Yeah.
You're staying in that mental institution.
And the other creepy part about Norman is the smile at the end. The whole he looks like this and he's just smiling. I'm like, you just shut him up, please, because that was creepy. But and what baffles me even more is, yes, he comes on his mother, fakely stabs her, and then actually does do it. Goes back to the house. Mother, oh my God, mother,
blood,
mother, mother, and then runs down. So overly dramatic. So fucking cheesy. But this would be a movie I'd laugh at. I'd be like, hey, watch this. This is funny. Just watch this. You don't even stab her.
Wasn't it when we were watching it, you're like, I can dress up as his mom and John can dress up as Norman.
So Jasmine, if you watch this, sorry. Because they do a Halloween party. I told John last night, and they go, John, I have a perfect Halloween costume for Jasmine and Steven. He's like, what? And I go, I'll go as Norman Bates' mom, and you go as Norman. He's all like, okay, if that's what you want to do. I'm like, yes.
I just need a house coat.
Yeah, I got one. I mean, it's got a, well, I have one. What color? Well, you can't tell the color of house coat because it's black and white. But the other thing that baffled me is, not this part didn't baffle me. It was the fact that she did start feeling guilty
Mhm.
because she took the money and she wanted to get away. So
And
she
she was
was
gonna
literally
return
going to
it.
go to Vegas, but she wanted to leave and go return it. And then she was brutally murdered. And I'm going to make a t-shirt that has rolling eyes and doing this and brutally murdered on it just to know. And the fact that when he picked up that newspaper, because that's where she put the money, he didn't look in it.
Mhm.
He could have had $39,300. Yes, she did subtract that while she was in the hotel, but she subtracted 700 from that because that's what she paid for the car. But the fact that he didn't look in there, he did not look in the newspaper to see what was in there. That's like, you would think somebody would look in something like that to see what's in there. Why is it so bulky? The newspaper wasn't bulky when she had it. It was rolled up and it's small. He didn't look at it. Threw it in the trunk, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" It's like, dude, there's $39,000. You could leave your mother and go do something else. But nope, he acted like nothing happened. That's the other creep factor of him. He's like, just another day at the Bates Motel.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened, nothing went on.
And then the fact, like, I think it was later, it was like, do you have any missing girls? And they're like, 2. And he's like, okay, yeah, Norma killed them. I love that glossed over thing. They
Oh
just
yeah.
glossed over that real
Oh, the
quick.
psychiatrist, dude. The
Yeah.
psychiatrist was like, "That's not Norman.
That's
His
Norma.
no, that's mother."
Yeah, that's
He
mother.
said mother, and I'm like, oh, so and he even described what it was, that when you have
Two
two personalities
personalities.
inside your head, you got you. So like me, if
Mhm.
I was to have another personality, it could be somebody totally different, and this one could be more dominant than myself and take over. And that's what happened to mother.
Mhm.
Is she finally, like, Norman just finally cracked,
And then
and
finding out he did kill Norma. He killed his mom and her boyfriend.
her lover, like, because I guess they were saying, did they say that his mom killed his dad,
His mom killed her
her husband,
boyfriend
her boyfriend?
that they were seeing each other. His father died in a horrendous way.
Yes.
But then they moved to the hotel. She started seeing a man, and then when she
I
found
said
out
she
he
did
was
it.
married, it was a murder suicide, and she had killed him and killed herself.
Took cyanide.
And then they later found out not.
Talking to
It
mother.
was mother who killed him.
Yeah, it was Norman who killed, because when mother was talking instead of Norman, mother finally came out with the story saying, it wasn't me. I didn't do that. I found out Norman killed him because he didn't like the fact that somebody was taking place of his dad or something, or it was going to hinder the relationship between him and his mom.
Yeah.
And then mom found out that Norman did this and she took her own life. And then Norman went and grave robbed her body.
Yeah.
And you could see the indention on the bed. And the woman that's upstairs, I'm like, don't touch that. You don't know where that woman's been. I'm like, don't touch that. She's been laying there dead this whole time. That's gross. But then when she goes down into the fruit cellar, Mrs. Bates, I'm like, that's not Mrs. Bates, man. You're gonna
Turns around. That was
scream.
the worst fake scream I've ever
Oh,
seen.
I know. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, yep, there you go. Now he's gonna come downstairs. And boy, does he come downstairs in mom's wig, like a
In the
wig, and
nightcap.
the
It's also the
robe.
first time you see it's actually Norman and
Yeah.
not just like a deranged woman. It's the first time you see it's Norman.
But-
And then you see the guy behind him grab him, and
you
it's
see
like,
this, it's like trying to put a cat in a bathtub.
get off of me. It's like the
Don't
knife
touch
is still in his
me.
hand, but it's like holding like
He's
this.
trying to stab the guy behind Sam. Trying to stab Sam, and I'm like, wow. Oh,
It was.
okay. Alfred Hitchcock.
And to think that that was the movie that made horror movies what they are today.
Yes.
I think Alfred Hitchcock would really enjoy horror movies today.
I think you would too.
I think he would really enjoy seeing where they are now. I think he would enjoy the brutality of it because that was his thing. He wanted to show the brutality of stuff, but
Now they
back
make
in
it
the
look
day-
so realistic.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think he'd be very impressed. So I give him kudos for starting us off
Yeah.
with horror movies. So I thank him
It's
for
terrible now. Great back then.
that. Yeah, and then it's like now watching, I will not watch that movie again. That's a one and done for me. If I need a laugh, sure, I'll watch it. But that one is Silence of the Lambs, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No, it's and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a slasher.
Mhm.
It's literally a slasher movie. I just never got into it.
Mhm.
But when it comes spooky season, you can ask Abigail. John will put on Halloween for me in the
Yeah.
bedroom, just because I like spooky season. It's my favorite time of the year, and I can watch Halloween and Child's Play and all that other stuff. And they were good movies.
Yeah. They were good movies. They're good movies to laugh at. But yeah, what is? I'm trying to. After Ed Gein, where's my book? Where did my notebook go? Where did I put my? There, I put my notebook. I'm trying to remember because we are filming April, and mind you, it's January. So
Yeah.
we have Ed Gein. You know what's next? Gary Triano.
Yep. We do have that.
Gary Triano is next, and you know a fun case. Yeah, the case. So next week's episode is going to be the Gary Triano, which is the beginning of our Tucson murder cases.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I think at this
in
point,
May.
either we'll be getting ready to move or we'll have moved already.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will.
I'm interested in the Jack the Ripper. I can't wait.
That's gonna be in May.
And I know we do have the Black Dahlia coming up as well,
We have
but that's for March.
yeah, that's gonna be March the
And that's for
23rd.
last month.
We
so.
wanted to do the Ed Gein first, get the horrors of Ed Gein out of our system before we talked about Jack the Ripper.
Mhm.
So it could have a couple of cases in between
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper and Ed Gein because we have I think the Black Dahlia.
Mhm.
Then we have we're gonna start the Tucson cases. Then we're doing the
Well, you got Gary Triano.
Triano,
So we have
Charles Morgan,
yeah.
Isabel Solis, and then we start Jack the Ripper. And then after we do Jack the Ripper, because the Long Island serial killer, his pre-trial began January 13th,
Mhm.
and his actual trial is beginning, I think, February 16th.
Oh,
So after we maybe record um, Jack the Ripper, we'll
See where we're at.
record. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with that case. Because worst comes to worst, we just pre-record it, and
Yeah.
we'll say if you're interested in this case, look this up. The trial is beginning on this date. Because I know on the pre-trial they
Let's see if we
had
can find the link for it and try to put it in the description.
it's all over the news in New Jersey.
Okay.
No, not New Jersey, in uh Long Island. It's all over the news in Long Island. Long Island has Long Island, New York, New Jersey, because he was a serial killer in that area. There is a lot of talk about him right now. I do know that they tried to get cases thrown out.
Yeah.
Saying he wasn't the murderer in those, but we're gonna see
what happens.
Yeah, we are definitely
So
to
if you're
see what
saying
happens.
this, yes, it is for us January, but
Yes,
this is for April.
and our next live will
February
have already happened.
23rd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be February 23rd. So you will have already seen us on our live.
Mm. And then I don't think we have another one for.
I think we do our last one in March,
Okay.
March 30th, because that's the last time.
Yeah. So we will be done.
We will be
recording.
fully because in April, in April is when we're gonna start either we're gonna be fully moved or
starting the packing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. All right. So, and if we watch any other movies, we'll definitely give you the rundown.
Review, yeah.
And please do show up for the lives on those days. Again, this is not going to be out till April, so unfortunately, you probably miss them both. But
our next live for sure, because it's April. We are going to be having our first live again.
June, right?
Yeah, it's going to be our comeback Q&A, and it's going to be on June 8th. So
that means we will go over all the cases that we have
yes,
done.
all
and
of the
pre-recorded.
cases we have done and pre-recorded,
and we are going to rate them. I told her I want to make like a little board of some
and we
kind
will
and
be
rate.
in our new place, so you will see a whole
New
different setup. We might have fancy chairs.
Yeah, we're
might
trying to. We want to
have.
get a whole setup. We want to do, or maybe we have like a computer monitor with cameras or something like. Well, I mean, cell phone, don't mind doing it on, but I would prefer to do it on a computer because then I
Mhm.
could turn around and go through and yes, it'll get uploaded, but then I can go in and change it real quick
Mhm.
before everybody sees it.
Yeah.
You know, and we can upload it to like Monday or Tuesday, but usually we do it live. So
Yeah.
so
But yeah, we're gonna do that. And then I think we already have the first case of June already prepped out. I haven't typed it. I'm not gonna start typing it until we're fully moved.
mm,
But it's gonna be on the Pulse shooting. It's June is Pride Month, and Pulse shooting is the largest mass shooting at a gay event in America
mhm,
as of this moment. You never know what's gonna happen. Um,
mhm.
And if something does like that, I'm not saying I want it to, anything ever were to happen like that, I'd most likely change what we're covering and gonna talk about that case.
Yep. So everybody have a good evening. We're gonna go eat some more refried beans and chips.
And what time is it?
I don't know. Your phone's right there. I can't tell you.
I'm gonna start making some birria tacos.
Yeah,
Like the ones that are like fried, the good ones.
the good ones. In other words, this right here is not gonna go away. It's gonna just sit here.
Yeah, because I got homemade refried beans,
But
homemade
she's cooking
Spanish
it with
rice.
oil, so it might go away tomorrow. Who knows? So yeah. All right. So you guys have a wonderful evening, day, wherever you are. I know some places are an hour, maybe 2 hours behind us. And we will see you guys next time. Love you all.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
one. Bye. Don't watch Psycho.
No, watch Psycho.
Don't watch.
Get the laughs. Get the
Okay.
laughs.
Yeah, watch it and then comment below of how you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
please.
watch Silence of the Lambs. Tell us how you
I
like
want to
Silence
know.
of the Lambs.
Now I want to know your reaction because mine it was stupid. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was dumb.